Geez, one little mistake. We said we're sorry.
Hello everyone and welcome to another review. My name is Brad Gaddy and today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on Venom. The movie tells the story of Eddie Brock, who gets infected by an alien substance known as a symbiote, which has to rely on a human subject in order to survive. Now this movie has been getting a ton of hate online, especially from critics. Now is this a great film? Absolutely not, and I'm going to explain some of the reasons for why I think that. However, I don't know if it's necessarily as bad as everybody's making it out to be. So let's go ahead and jump into some of the positives. Now there are quite a few funny scenes in this movie. There's this one scene where Tom Hardy gets to just barge into this restaurant and interrupt this meal between his ex-fiancée and her new boyfriend, and Tom Hardy gets to run around and do all this crazy stuff, and it is hysterical. I had a lot of fun with the scene, and you could tell that Tom Hardy had a lot of fun filming it as well. Besides this one scene, there are also a ton of other one-liners in the movie and just little quips and beats here and there that are pretty funny as well. So in addition to all the humor, the scenes where Venom actually shows up were really entertaining. Venom gets to run around with his zany sense of humor and be reckless and tear stuff up, and that was really fun to watch on the big screen. I'm not going to lie, I had a good time with it. However, Venom's presence in the movie ties in directly to one of the film's biggest flaws, and that's a lack of Venom. I think that if Venom showed up more often in the movie, then it would have been a lot more entertaining. The problem is he doesn't show up for the first 45 to 50 minutes of the film. And in those first opening 45 minutes, Eddie Brock just goes from scene to scene, and he has a few nice interactions with characters here and there, but those scenes don't do much for the plot, and they're not entertaining enough to justify their existence. By the time Venom shows up around the 45 to 50 minute mark, you're like, finally, he's here. We can actually get to something entertaining now. So the fact that that first 45 minutes of the film doesn't do much to develop Eddie and isn't that entertaining leads to another big problem with the film, which is the characters. I'm going to go so far as to say that there is no standout here in the cast, which is really surprising considering all the star power they have here with Tom Hardy, Riz Ahmed, and Michelle Williams. So Tom Hardy is alright as Venom, but didn't work for me in a lot of ways. So even before he's infected with the symbiote, Tom Hardy decided to play Eddie Brock as really spastic and even manic at times, and it was just really weird to see because his character is supposed to be this star international reporter that's a go-getter and goes to all these crazy places and is really smooth and has really made themselves a reputation as this awesome reporter. So to see him running around bumbling and being spastic and manic, it was really weird, and I didn't buy it. So after Eddie Brock is infected with the symbiote, it seemed like either Tom Hardy or the script couldn't decide how scared Tom Hardy should be of the symbiote. And that makes itself present in a few scenes where Eddie Brock is interacting with the symbiote. Like there's this really weird part in the movie where Eddie Brock sticks out his arm and the symbiote comes out and forms the head of Venom, and he's talking to it, and given the circumstances, he has a relatively normal conversation with this weird, freaky alien symbiote that he doesn't know about, and given the circumstances, he should really be freaking out. Like, if that was me, I'd be like, I am horrified right now, but we just don't see that with Tom Hardy's portrayal of Eddie Brock. They have a really normal conversation. It was weird. So as far as the other characters go, Riz Ahmed plays this really stereotypical evil genius scientist, and some of his lines are really bad. So for example, there's this scene where he's having this conversation with this good scientist who disagrees with what he's doing, and he looks at her and he's like, "Do you have children? And how old are they? Because I'm gonna come and get them." And of course that's not what he says, but that's the implication, and it's just really bad and cheesy and didn't really work for me. And his character has a few other lines like that as well that I just thought did not work. And Eddie Brock's ex-fiancée, played by Michelle Williams, is just written in a way that makes her completely unlikable. So her character's whole thing is that she's mad at Eddie Brock and breaks up with him because he went snooping on her computer in order to find condemning information on Riz Ahmed's character. But he was doing it in order to find condemning information on a murdering psychopath. So his reasons for snooping are really sympathetic, especially because Michelle Williams' character is working for a law firm that is trying to help defend Draco. So there's this one part in the movie where she flips out on him and says, "Eddie, you're the reason this happened. You're the reason I'm gone and the reason we can't be together, and you should have just thought about that before what you did." And I'm just sitting there thinking like, lady, what are you talking about? He was trying to expose a psychopathic killer, and you're not giving him any breaks at all, and you're just mad because you lost your job. Like, think of the greater good here. And so the movie just portrays her in a way that's trying to get you to be sympathetic towards her, but I just did not feel it, and I just thought that she was really hateful and treated him with no fairness, and it just did not work for me. So in addition to the characters just being weirdly written, they do some really stupid stuff in the movie. So there's this part in the movie where these two characters actually come into contact with a symbiote, and so you know that 100% in real life, if they had come into contact with this alien life form, like, they would be paying attention to it. But what do you know? Immediately after it shows up, they turn around and just decide to have this completely meaningless, petty conversation that doesn't have to do with anything, and then what do you know? The symbiote escapes, and they turn around, and they're like, oh no, it's gone, when we had this really stupid conversation. And you're just thinking to yourself, you shouldn't have had the conversation to begin with, and why they did, I don't know. I guess it's just because plot reasons. So for another example of this, the good scientist shows up once again and runs into Drake, and then just decides to, for no reason, divulge this really sensitive information that, you know, if this was actually happening, she would have never told him this, because it's like, duh. She knows he's an evil mastermind killing psychopath. She would not have said that. And it just makes no sense at all in the movie. So anyways, guys, I know I've harped on Venom quite a bit here, but if you're willing to look past some of the bad characterizations and really stupid decisions that characters make throughout the film, then you can probably still have some fun with it once it gets to the parts where Venom actually shows up and gets to rampage around for a while. Those are pretty funny and entertaining, I guess, and you'll probably get some entertainment out of it. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give Venom a 5 out of 10. It's an okay movie. So I can relate to the comic book fans who are really infuriated right now over how this movie turned out, with Venom being so mismanaged after being such a beloved character for such a long time, and finally seeing him on screen treated this way, I'm sure really sucks for a lot of people. So for an example for me of seeing a beloved character mistreated was when Star Wars The Last Jedi came out and they treated Luke that way. Like, man, I was disappointed. So anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of Venom, and also maybe let me know what character you've seen completely mismanaged in a film before, and how much did that suck. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.